Yes.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you for having me here today. It's really great to be in New York City. And this is kind of a different supply chain community that we're used to presenting to, but I think it's great, a lot of energy, a lot of different types of companies in the room here. So what we're going to do today, Justin and I, is really talk about our view on the future of urban distribution. We're not necessarily talking about things that DHL is doing. This is not a DHL commercial. So we'll spend a little bit of time talking about the e-commerce market in North America, how Amazon has really changed the supply chain game, and in part kind of led to what is happening now in retail, where there's a transformation in the works. And Justin will cover that, and then we'll kind of wrap it up after that, and hopefully have some time for some questions. So right now, e-fulfillment sits at about 10% market penetration. E-commerce is about 10% of total retail sales. But that is very misleading because if you were to take out automotive sales, gasoline sales, it would be closer to around 20%. And in certain categories such as electronics and fashion, it's even higher than that. And that's where significant disruption has occurred in the retail space. And it's not hard to see why people have moved so much to e-commerce. E-commerce is a lot faster than it has been years ago. You get free deliveries for the most part, very convenient to order, and also very transparent. But we're probably at a point now where we kind of need to stop talking about e-fulfillment and retail as separate channels. They really are, at these kind of rates, they really are one channel. And it's a seamless kind of integration of e-commerce and retail that's taking place in the marketplace. One of the key drivers is, of course, the click-to-door speed. And Amazon has been a full 2 days ahead of the competition in terms of click-to-door speed. And you can see that great reduction of delivery times. Delivery times have reduced year over year over year. And Amazon has always maintained a 1 to 2 day lead over the competition. And recently, Amazon announced that it was changing the service level expectation for Prime members from 2 days to 1 day. And you might ask yourself, whoa, how can they do that? I mean, are they just going to lose a lot of money delivering packages in 1 day? That really doesn't seem economically viable. Well, Amazon has done a great job of building up the marketplace and creating a lot of density. 10 years ago, which isn't that long ago, they had a national distribution strategy. And they had most of their distribution centers in states where there were maybe favorable sales tax laws, and that's where they had their major points of distribution. They realized they were growing too fast and that wasn't going to carry on forever. Then they got into more of a regional strategy. But recently, they've started opening up more and more distribution centers and different types of facilities closer to urban centers. And this has really kind of prompted some of the changes in the different types of delivery modes that Amazon now uses. The days of kind of just shipping parcels across the country with 50% air in them, those days are over. Now they're making the deliveries themselves. And if you take a look at the New York City ecosystem, those are all the facilities that Amazon has in and around the greater New York City area. And of course, they have their small sortable, large sortable distribution centers, their warehouses that have Kiva robots in them, all those types of different facilities. But what they have really done more recently is open up facilities that help with the last mile. The Prime Now distribution centers, which help facilitate the 1 and 2 hour delivery service, but then also their delivery stations. And these delivery stations are where they can have their own contracted drivers make that last mile delivery. So they act as consolidation points for all the small sortable, large sortable warehouses to make deliveries into the delivery stations where they can be put onto their own contracted fleet and make that final mile delivery on their behalf. And you might have recently heard that Amazon was offering their employees in their distribution centers $10,000 if they were to quit and become a delivery service partner, and that $10,000 would be used as an investment in an Amazon vehicle to make the final mile deliveries, to be a contractor with Amazon. Now, why have they had this great push in the last mile? Well, there's a lot of advantages to controlling the last mile. One, you can ask your delivery service partners to do a lot of things that typical parcel carriers won't do. Make deliveries to lockers, make deliveries inside your home, the Amazon Key. If you have the Amazon Key, delivery service partners can enter your home, put the packages inside your home. Can ask delivery service partners to maybe deliver to your car if it's compatible with a delivery app device to open up the trunk of your car. A lot of different things. You can also change the location. You can get updates on where your package is. A lot of increased visibility that you wouldn't be able to get with just kind of regular parcel services. So they have really done a great job kind of expanding that last mile delivery capability. Now, Amazon's is obviously the market leader here in the US. In China, China is really a lot further ahead than the US in terms of e-commerce, in terms of the e-commerce market in general. Companies like Alibaba, JD really leading the way. Alibaba have converted a lot of their stores into fulfillment centers. They're making their own deliveries with crowdsourced delivery fleets, as is JD.com. It's not out of the question in China to see a delivery made in less than 30 minutes. And I know JD's talking next. Some of the things that they're doing, I don't know if these are visions or if they're real, but they have tunnels that kind of go from their distribution centers to their city centers, and I heard that that some of this is really closer than you think to becoming reality, just to move those products even closer to the consumer. So with that, now Justin's going to kind of talk about the impact that this is having across the industry, the broader industry in general.
Thanks, Adrian. Can you guys hear me okay? Should be interesting. I don't think I've ever had to present with two things on both of my hands, so let me see if I can get this going. So as Adrian mentioned, he talked about the trend in the e-commerce market, how Amazon's been disrupting the supply chain industry, and also how the customer behavior and expectations have changed as well. And it's having undoubtedly an impact to the traditional retail market. You've seen a lot of buzz about or articles about how malls are losing traffic, stores are going out of business, and you see a lot of conversions happening where the mall space is being transformed into something else, maybe more of a residential space or office space that gets partnered up with it. But I think it would be a false narrative if you just read that at a face value to say brick and mortar is failing. I think the right question to ask is, how do we reevaluate the role of how brick and mortar plays in the industry? And some companies have kind of led the way. American Eagle, for example, right here in New York City, their store allows free laundry service for students. They also have a shop that allows people to customize the jeans they buy, simply have a lounge area that people can just hang out in. So, really different ways to create that unique brand experience. And it's not lost with the digitally native companies as well. There are studies out there that shows there's an increase in web traffic when there's a physical presence. And someone like Bonobos, when they first entered into the brick and mortar space, they didn't just simply copy the retail model that existed before. That they went with an approach where people can come in, try things on with the help of a guide, get their sizing right, and then place an order online so that it gets delivered home. So they weren't actually able to carry any product physically out of the store. And it's all about creating that unique brand experience that captures the customers. Another concept that's been floating around, virtual dressing room. You can just try on a clothes with the simple press of a button. You can look at it in different color, style maybe. You can have a recording of yourself, a 360 view of it, and email it to yourself so that you can take a look at it again later, order it online, or send it to one of your friends to get their opinion. But again, all about it is how do we use that traditional brick and mortar space to something else that creates more of the personalized experience for the customers. We're just out in Hudson Yards this morning. We went to the store called Beta. I'm sure some of you have heard, or most of you, maybe some of you have also been to the store. it's really a new retail model that emerged. So it's creating a retail store where it allows brands to bring in their product, take up a very small footprint on a retail store, display their product, have people come and try things out, and if they like it, they can order it right there. They have this touchpad that allows them to look at, what is this all about and get more details on it. What's interesting really is a couple things. One, you don't really think about it, but you actually get the benefit of the traffic that gets generated by all the brands as a whole. So it's not just like it's on you to generate that traffic. Everyone's coming in to look at different things, which connects to the next point. You don't actually think about what brands are in there. When you're going to a store called Beta, you're not thinking about I'm going to go see a specific product. You're going in there thinking, hey, I'm going to see something new today. So it's a good way to create that demand or interest from the customers. And really, the range of product, as you can see in the video today, they had everything from blankets to powered massagers and smart pens to skincare product, just about everything that you can think of. So again, it's really a different model of how do we use the physical space that we can get to closer to the customers.